everybody. I'm going to do a makeup tutorial for you today. Now, I've never done anything like this before and I'm not a professional makeup artist, so bear with me. But I'm going to do an Italian makeup tutorial for you today. And I have a lot of Italian cosmetics. I don't have everything Italian, but some things I have are just Italian inspired. Like this is the Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita eyeshadow palette, so I'm going to use things like that. But I have a lot of products here from Dolce and Gabbana, from Borghese, and from Kiko, which are all Italian brands. And as you can see, I am not much of a bronze goddess. I'm very pale and I'm very pink. I have a lot of redness in my cheeks right now. But I'm going to try to do a bronzed up kind of Italian goddess, Italian film star kind of look for you today. So what I've done already is I've washed my face, I've moisturized it, and I have a little mascara on already. I'm going to start there. The first product that I'm going to use is from Borghese, and it's called Splendore, and it's a brightening makeup. And you can wear this by itself, or you can mix it with your makeup. I'm going to put a little on just as a base. It's kind of a bronzy, highlighty kind of look to it. I'll put a little in my hand here. And I'm going to put this on with the Borghese little kabuki brush that I got. So I'm just dabbing it in there a little bit. I'm just going to put that lightly on my cheeks you can see it's giving a little glow. I'm going to put makeup on top of this, but I'm just using a little brightening base. A little glowy, because we want kind of like a glowy, bronzy look to it. And this big fluffy brush is just going to put it on lightly. Concentrating mostly like on my cheeks where you would put a highlighter. You can see I have a lot of redness in my face. It looks really worse on camera. But that is step one. And if we find that the makeup covers it up too much, I might put a little bit of that at the end. So now I'm going to use this Kiko foundation. And this is a little dark for me. It's number 2, it's Cool Rose. But I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm gonna actually start using a little mirror here. So I'm just gonna dab this around a little. And then I'm gonna put it on. This is the brush that came with it. It's a really nice brush. So as you can see, it just instantly starts to make my skin look a little nicer. It's really easy to put on with this brush. Forehead, my nose. Just evening out the skin tone. Getting rid of a lot of that redness. So when you put it on with a brush like this, you can really get a nice thin coat. And then where you see that you have little problem areas, like where I have my redness issue, because this is a little dark, I'm going to take a little bit down my neck. But then you can go back in with a little bit and just put it where you have the most redness. I always get it right here and right here. Always have, ever since I was a little kid. So I think that I can take a little over my eyelids. So I can still see a little bit of that brightening primer underneath. I don't know if it's showing up because I'm just using my phone here. So it's not the best camera in the world. But a lot better than from when we started, right? So the next thing I'm going to use a lot of powder products, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put a little powder on my cheeks, and I'm going to use my favorite powder, which is my Chanel powder. So just a little bit, just to lightly set that makeup in place and give us a nice smooth base for the powder products that we're going to use. So just very little on the brush, just swirling it around. Look a little bronzer in the mirror than I do on camera, so hopefully the light is very pink too, so hopefully you'll see what I mean by the end. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is bronze up my skin a little. So I have a little mini bronzer from Borghese that I'm going to use, but I also have this Charlotte Tilbury. It's called the Film Star Bronze and Glow. So I'm going to take a nice sculpting brush, this is Real Techniques brush, and I'm going in with the bronze side. And I'm going to just sculpt my cheeks, and my face is very wide around the temples, so I'm going to sculpt around there a little bit, around my hairline. Just try to use this as a definer, and then I'm going to use the Borghese one more as the actual bronzer. I'm going to take a little of the highlight side and just put that here on my cheekbone so we don't look too matte and flat. And I'm going to put a little of that on the bridge of my nose. Now I'm going to take a concealer by Dolce and Gabbana. Here we go. Because it's pretty pale, and I'm just going to use it to give a little highlight to my nose. My nose is a little soft and round, so I'm going to take a tiny bit of that on my nose and just make a line with it, see? And just take a little bit here, and a little bit where I get darkness around the eyes, just to brighten that up a little bit. I don't really get dark circles that much, but I do get darkness like right in the corner. Just blend that in. And then again, with the Film Star bronze side, I'm just gonna bronze up the side of my nose a little bit, to try to make it a little darker here and a little lighter down the middle, just to kind of give it some shape. Now the next thing I'm going to do is use this beautiful eye palette from Charlotte Tilbury called the Dolce Vita. It's made for that kind of look. And I'm going to use this light color here just on my finger because it's a powder, but it's kind of creamy and it has a nice kind of nudie but golden sheen to it, because we're all about like the bronzy glow today. So just put that on my mobile lid here. Just smoothing it in with my finger. And then I'm going to take a crease brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to go in with the dark color here and just tap it on there, and I'm just going to highlight, or darken I should say, my crease area to give some depth to my eye socket. I don't know if you can see, the camera's really whiting everything out here. I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Outer corner and just right into this brow bone here. And just build that up until you get the right look. So, I don't know if you can see that so much on camera. I like to use, my eye's running a little bit, excuse me. My left eye always waters when I put on makeup. So now I'm going to take the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and I'm just going in with the black color. It's called Blackout. And I'm taking a stiff flat brush. This is a Trish McEvoy brush. Looks like this. And I'm just dipping it in that black, and I'm going to use that as an eyeliner. So really close to the lashes. I'm going to go across. Just add some definition, and then I'm going to pull it up a little at the end. Not really like a flick, but whatever's left on the brush I'm not going to re-dip. I'm just going to take it underneath. I don't put mascara on my bottom lashes because they're really long and they kind of just, I don't know, they look like spider legs or something, so I usually stay away from that. As you can see, it's a little more defined than the other eye, and then I'm going to take a little bit more on this outer corner. Instead of using like a liquid or a gel, I'm just going to use this powder, and I think that works well for me. So I'm going to do the other eye. So. Too much light maybe? Need to see properly, but I just start small and then I build up a little as I go along. You can soften it a little with your finger. Okay, so most importantly now, my eyebrows are very thin now that I'm older, and they're barely visible. So I'm taking this product by Anastasia, and it's an Eyebrow Duo, and I'm using the color Granite because I have very dark hair. A lot of, like, if you use dark brown, a lot of the eyebrow products have too much red in them, so I like to use this when I use the gray side because it doesn't go on looking gray, it goes on just looking natural. So I'm just going to fill in where I have the holes. And it really just helps balance out the look of the eye. To have eyebrows on my face again. Already looks like 100 times better. I just have so many little light hairs and then just gaps where they just don't grow anymore. So just filling that in. Try to stick to my natural shape, and then you can brush it through. Tail end needs a little work here. I just think it looks so much better. I mean, in person it looks even better than you're seeing on camera because the phone really doesn't pick up as well as like a good camera would. I'm just doing the other one. They're not both shaped exactly the same, but most people's eyebrows are different like that, so it's really this middle part here that just kind of disappears on me. They're just little light strokes with this angled brush. This is just from ELF, just a little 99-cent brush. Has a spoolie on the end and an angled brush on the other end. Let me just deepen this part here a little bit. Brush it through, so much better. I'll try to elongate them a little bit, but I don't want it to look too unnatural. There we go. Now as for little bronze enhancing. So this is the little mini bronzer that I have from Borghese, and it's called the Milano Mini Bronzer in Multi Bronzer in Spectra. It has 3 colors in there, and I like to kind of use it. I'm gonna go back in with my contour brush. I sort of just use the 2 outside colors. I blend them together a little, and then I put them on my cheek as like a little blushy, bronzy, little blushy, bronzy look. I have so much redness in my cheeks that I don't like to wear like pink blushes, so this kind of peachy, bronzy look I think works a little better in person. And then you can just kind of like dust that around a little if you want. So now, just down to the lips. I have a little, my lips are very pale too, as you can see. I have some lip balm on, but I'm going to use another Charlotte Tilbury product. So she has a video online called the Dolce Vita look. And she uses that eye palette, and at the very end, she uses several different lipsticks to give you a different idea of looks that you can do. So this one is called Bond Girl. It's a really unusual color. It's kind of like a pinky brown, but not quite, more of like a plummy brown. I'm just gonna apply that straight from the bullet. It's a matte formula. It's a creamy matte. Just soften the edge there a little bit. You can use a lip liner if you want to. I'm just kind of going for a casual look here. So I really like that color. But I think I'm just gonna blot the edges a little bit. Just neaten that up. Let my hair down. So for a pale skin girl, this is probably as bronzy as I can get. But that is sort of my everyday makeup too. I don't usually put the bronzing gel underneath, but if you want to, I think I will just for effect. Let me take a little of that on my hand. I'm just gonna dab a little of that where we put a highlighter. Just very gently. To give that little bit of a sheen. Oops, the light just changed dramatically in here. I'm using natural light from the window, and whoop, here comes the sun again. Watch it change. So that is my done makeup tutorial. So it's kind of subtle. I'm gonna take some pictures with my regular camera, just some still photos so you can see a different light source. But that was basically it. It didn't take me very long, did it? And I've been dying to do a makeup tutorial. I watch them all the time on YouTube, and I just thought, well, who wants to see one from me? I'm not a makeup artist. But I think a good everyday look by a normal person, this is how I would go out normally, is a good way to learn how to do your makeup without trying to be too professional about it. This is just like a normal person's makeup. So, do I look more Italian now that I'm done? A little less pink, a little more bronzy. If you're brave, you can go bronze up even a little more. But I just want to do it very subtly because I'm really pale girl, because I'm half Irish, and I always want to try to not look so pink. So hopefully this bronzed me up a little and made me look a little more neutral toned. So stay tuned for some still pictures from my real camera. Hello, here I am again, and it's a little later in the day and I'm out in the real world, and I wanted to show you how the makeup was holding up throughout the day. My lippy has worn off, but you can see I'm looking a little bronzed, I think you can tell now that I'm not in the ultra pink light. And I think it's holding up pretty well, and I have a nice sheen to my cheek, a little bronzy look around the forehead, and so I hope you like this makeup tutorial, and maybe you can try it for yourself, and if you do, send me a picture so I can see what it looks like. Thanks, bye.